The state constitutions are the first official governments of independence, and many of the states rush very quickly to write their constitutions. Massachusetts has a terrible time. They write it, it's rejected. They write it, it's rejected. But other states very quickly introduce governing documents for themselves. They're very similar in form. That is, the governments that are created are very similar to the old colonial governments and in many ways carry out traditions of Anglo-American culture. They have all the elements that the English government has in the sense of division of branches of government, executive, legislative, judicial, and independent judiciary. They have checks and balances. They have an elected branch of government, and so in many ways they reflect hundreds of years of what would be called Anglo-American tradition. What's unusual about them and reflect the Revolution is that almost every one of them begin with long declarations of the rights of the citizens. But many of these early state constitutions have what comes to be in the national constitution, the Bill of Rights, have it right up front. That's the beginning, and that indicates how concerned about the sovereignty of the people the revolutionaries were. And these state governments varied a lot. Some were very radical. They had only one house of the legislature, that is only a branch of the government that was elected by the voters. Didn't have an upper house, which was seen as more aristocratic. Pennsylvania toyed with the idea of not having a governor, that is no executive branch at all. Other states were really quite conservative and continued old traditions of you had to own a certain amount of property to vote, which was true in almost every state. You had to own more property to serve in the lower house, more property to serve in the Senate, and even more to serve in the governorship. The Carolinas, for instance, had very conservative constitutions. But what ties all these state constitutions together is this willingness to put down in print what the rights of the people are, rights of the citizens are.